wear the night like a tailored coat. Black rain falls on my shoulders slow. They say my name with a lowered voice, like fear was ever a holy choice. A glass of wine on an empty chair, your perfume still in the midnight air. I built a kingdom out of stone just to find myself alone. The church bells ring through the rain outside. I keep my sins where my hands can hide. Power looks calm in a candle room, but even gold can feel like a tomb. The dawn never sleeps. He counts every shadow moving down the street. Cold eyes, warm blood, a heart buried deep where no one looks. The dawn never cries. He smiles while another part of him dies. Black suit, gold ring, a lonely man dressed like a king. My father told me, never bend, never trust where the silence ends. But no one warned me what it costs to win the room and still feel lost. I loved you quiet, I loved you wrong, turned every sorry into song. If I could trade this name tonight, I'd be just a man beneath your light. Smoke curls up from a steady hand, but the eyes betray what the face commands. Rain keeps falling on polished shoes. Some men win everything they lose. The dawn never sleeps. He counts every shadow moving down the street. Cold eyes, warm blood, a heart buried deep where no one looks. The dawn never cries. He smiles while another part of him dies. Black suit, gold ring, a lonely man dressed like a king. Forgive me, love, I became what I had to be. Forgive me, God, there's still a boy inside of me. Behind the name, behind the door, behind the eyes, I'm not sure anymore. The dawn never sleeps. The rain knows the secrets he promised to keep. Cold eyes, warm blood, a fragile soul under all that blood. The dawn never cries, but the night sees the truth in his tired eyes. Black suit, gold ring, a broken heart dressed like a king. on a silver cane. Black coat shining in the rain. Everybody knows my name. Nobody knows what I became. There's a rose beside the wine. One more ghost I call mine. You left softly, I stayed still, like a king on a lonely hill. I learned to speak with nothing said, kept all my storms inside my head. They see the power, they see the throne. They never see me when I'm alone. Cold hands, warm blood, I kept my heart under the mud. Dark eyes, old pain, I only tell the truth to rain. Cold hands, warm blood, I lost the man I almost was. Gold green, black sky, I never learned how to say goodbye. Candles burn in empty rooms. Your shadow moves where silence blooms. I hear your voice in every glass, calling me back to who I was. Family names and heavy doors, velvet chairs and marble floors. I paid the price, I played the part, but power never warmed my heart. Smoke rises from my trembling hand. I hide it well, I always can. The room goes quiet when I appear, but quiet never killed the fear. Cold hands, warm blood, I kept my heart under the mud. Dark eyes, old pain, I only tell the truth to rain. Cold hands, warm blood, I lost the man I almost was. Gold ring, black sky, I never learned how to say goodbye. If heaven keeps a chair for me, leave it close to where you'll be. I wore the crown, I held the line, but I was yours before I was mine. Cold hands, warm blood, there's still a wound beneath the glove. Dark eyes, old pain, my soul still waits beside the rain. Cold hands, warm blood, I kept the name but lost the love. Gold ring, black sky, a lonely king who can't say goodbye. I was born beneath a heavy name, carved in stone and washed by rain. Every son must learn the part, how to hide a breaking heart. Mother prayed by candlelight, Father taught me wrong from right. Then the world came dressed in black, and there was no turning back. They bow their heads when I walk in, but they don't know where I have been. A golden ring, a quiet room, a family name can be a tomb. The family name lives in my blood like an old flame. I carry love, I carry shame, all for the family name. The family name keeps me standing in the rain, but every night I feel the same, lost in the family name. There's an empty chair beside the wine, a ghost that never leaves my mind. I gave my youth to closed doors, velvet halls and marble floors. I learned to smile without a sound, while heaven watched me falling down. A man can own the whole damn street and still have nothing at his feet. Smoke climbs slowly from my hand, like a prayer that cannot stand. My eyes stay cold, my voice stays low, but I am tired more than they know. The family name lives in my blood like an old flame. I carry love, I carry shame, all for the family name. The family name keeps me standing in the rain, but every night I feel the same, lost in the family name. If I could lay this crown aside, if I could leave this house of pride, I'd be a boy beneath the sun, before the name and what I'd done. Forgive the man I had to be, forgive the boy still haunting me. Behind the door, behind the frame, I'm just a prisoner of the name. The family name burns in my chest like a holy flame. I kept the power, lost the grace, now rain keeps falling on my face. The family name, no one survives it quite the same. I wear the suit, I hide the pain, all for the family name. I kept the door closed when you called my name. Let the rain answer through the window frame. A black car waited by the old street light, and I chose the dark over holding you tight. Your letter sleeps in my inside coat, near a prayer I never spoke. I wore my silence like a crown, while everything I loved fell down. They see the suit, they see the ring, they hear the fear my footsteps bring, but no one sees the empty room where your goodbye still smells like perfume. I kept the door closed when my heart was breaking open. I kept my face cold when every word was choking. I held the line, I paid the cost, I won the night, but you were lost. I kept the door closed. Now the rain knows what I never told. There's a glass untouched beside my chair, a little ghost of you still there. The candles burn, the shadows bend, but power never calls you friend. I learned to smile with tired eyes, to bury truth beneath polite lies. A man can make the whole room still and still be haunted by his will. Smoke turns silver in my hand, like all the things I had to stand. The church bell rings, the city sleeps, but old regret is never deep. I kept the door closed when my heart was breaking open. I kept my face cold when every word was choking. I won the night, but you were lost. I kept the door closed. Now the rain knows what I never told. If I had been less proud, if I had been less stoned, would you have stayed somehow? Would I have come back home behind this name, behind this gold? There's still a man who feels the cold. I kept the door closed, but the past keeps walking in. I kept my hands clean from the tears beneath my skin. I held the line, I wore the cost, I ruled the night, but love was lost. I kept the door closed. Now the rain knows what I never told. Midnight leans against the glass, rain remembers what I passed. A black coat hangs beside the door, like a life I don't wear anymore. They call me strong, they call me cold. They see the ring, they see the gold. But when the candles start to fade, I count the ghosts my hands have made. The room goes quiet when I breathe, but quiet never lets me leave. A crown can shine, a crown can cut, and mine is heavy with old blood. A king alone at midnight, with no one left to know how heavy power feels when the heart won't let it go. A king alone at midnight, behind the velvet door. He owns the whole damn city, but he's poorer than before. There's your picture in the drawer I don't open anymore. But every time the thunder cries, I see the truth inside your eyes. I kept the table, kept the name, kept every promise wrapped in shame. But all the things I had to save became the chains I couldn't break. Smoke turned silver near my face, like prayers that never found their place. The suit is sharp, the room is still, but I am tired of my own will. A king alone at midnight, with no one left to know how heavy power feels when the heart won't let it go. A king alone at midnight, behind the velvet door. He owns the whole damn city, but he's poorer than before. If I could be forgiven, if I could be unknown, if I could lay this name down and walk back home alone, would heaven leave a light on? Would love still know my face? Or did I trade forever for one expensive place? A king alone at midnight, the rain keeps score outside. He never shows the trembling he keeps beneath his pride. A king alone at midnight, with shadows at his feet. He wears the face of power and hides a heart that bleeds. father's coat still hangs by the door. Heavy as the name he wore before. I put it on when the rain came down. Now every street calls me by his sound. He taught me silence, taught me pride, how to keep a storm locked up inside. But he never told me late at night the crown would feel this cold and tight. They lower their eyes when I walk through, but all I see is what he knew. A golden ring, a candle flame, a sun still trapped inside a name. I live in my father's shadow. I wear his sins like mine. I smile with a face of power and bleed where no one finds. I live in my father's shadow, under rain and old street light. A man can inherit the whole world and still lose sleep at night. There's a chair he left beside the wine, a quiet ghost at the end of mine. I hear his voice in every room, like thunder under red perfume. He said, be strong, don't let them see. But strength became a cage for me. I kept the house, I kept the throne, and turned my heart into a stone. Smoke climbs slow from my trembling hand. I hide it well, I always can. The suit is sharp, the room is still, but I am tired of iron will. I live in my father's shadow. I wear his sins like mine. I smile with a face of power and bleed when no one finds. I live in my father's shadow, under rain and old street light. A man can inherit the whole world and still lose sleep at night. Father, did you feel this too, when the whole room bowed to you? Did your eyes stay cold and clear, just to hide the same old fear? If I could lay your name to rest, if I could breathe outside this chest, would I become the man I am, or just another haunted son? I live in my father's shadow, but the shadow knows my face. I kept the family standing and lost my own soft place. I live in my father's shadow, with a cigarette and rain, a king in a borrowed kingdom. a sun inside the pain.
Used up beneath the old street light, with rain like diamonds in your eyes. I had the car, the coat, the name, but not the courage to stay kind. I turned away without a word. Let silence be the knife you heard. The city bowed, the church bell rang, and I became a colder man. They gave me rooms with velvet walls, gold-framed ghosts in marble halls. But every crown has one cruel sound, the heart it costs when you sit down. I chose the throne and lost the only hand I knew. I kept the name, but gave away the boy in blue. I chose the throne, now every night feels carved in stone. A king can own the whole dark street and still go home alone. Your picture hides behind my drawer. I tell myself it hurts no more, but smoke still writes your name at night above the ashtray's little light. I learned to speak in measured tones, to make a palace out of bones. They call me strong, they call me wise, but no one sees my tired eyes. The rain keeps tapping on the glass, like footsteps from a softer past. I had to win, I had to rise, but victory came in your disguise. I chose the throne and lost the only hand I knew. I kept the name, but gave away the boy in blue. I chose the throne, now every night feels carved in stone. A king can own the whole dark street and still go home alone. If I had run to you that night, if I had left the crown behind, would I be poor beneath the rain, or rich enough to feel again? Forgive the man I had to be, forgive the fear inside of me. Behind the ring, behind the door, I wanted love and wanted more. I chose the throne. The rain still knows what I denied. I kept my face and buried everything inside. I chose the throne, but power chills me to the bone. A king can rule the whole damn street and still go home alone.
Came down on the avenue like every lie I ever knew. Black car waiting by the door. I don't ask questions anymore. A friendly smile, a silver blade, both look soft in candle shade. I learned the cost of staying kind. Now I keep one eye behind. They shake my hand, they say my name, but every voice begins the same. Power makes the room go still, but silence never proves goodwill. Trust no one tonight. The street lights tremble in my eyes. Every shadow knows my name. Every promise sounds the same. Trust no one tonight. I hold my heart just out of sight. Cold rain, old gun, a lonely man who trusts no one. There's a table set for family, but family looks away from me. Blood is warm until it dries, then it turns to alibis. I loved a woman soft and true, but fear stood closer than she knew. I pushed her out to keep her safe. Now empty rooms still wear her face. Smoke climbs slow from leather hands, like ghosts from all my careful plans. The suit is clean, the soul is worn. Some men are crowned and still forlorn. Trust no one tonight. The streetlights tremble in my eyes. Every shadow knows my name. Every promise sounds the same. Trust no one tonight. I hold my heart just out of sight. Cold rain, old gun, a lonely man who trusts no one. If I could sleep without a guard, if I could speak without a card, if I could let somebody in, would they love me or my sin? Behind the ring, behind the stare, there's still a boy too scared to care. Trust no one tonight. The rain keeps falling soft and white. Every friend my light. Cold rain, old gun, a broken man who trusts no one.
Behind cold eyes, the old rain falls on velvet rooms and marble walls. They see the suit, they see the name. They never see the hidden flame. A black car waits beneath the light. Like every choice I make tonight, I keep my voice low, keep my hands clean, but ghosts still know where I have been. The room gets quiet when I arrive, but quiet don't mean I'm alive. A man can rule with steady breath and still be dancing close to death. Behind cold eyes, there's a boy who never learned to cry. Behind this ring, there's a heart afraid of everything. Behind cold eyes, I bury truth in perfect lies. Golden rain can't wash away this old pain. Your name still lives beneath my tongue, like a song I left unsung. I chose the door, I chose the crown. I watched your shadow turn around. The candles shake, the glasses shine. I drink to yours and call it mine. But every toast and every prayer finds an empty chair still there. Smoke curls soft above my hand, like something I can't understand. They call it power, call it fate. I call it waking up too late. Behind cold eyes, there's a boy who never learned to cry. Behind this ring, there's a heart afraid of everything. Behind cold eyes, I bury truth in perfect lies. Golden rain can't wash away this old pain. If I could lose this heavy name, if I could step outside the frame, would you know me in the street without the fear beneath my feet? I was never made of stone, I only learned to stand alone. Behind the coat, behind the pride, there's still a wound I keep inside. Behind cold eyes, the night can see what daylight hides. Behind this ring, a lonely man
still can't wash away this pain.
When the rain calls my name, I remember who I was. Before the suit, before the ring, before the city called it love. There's a black car by the door, and a light I cannot run. I have won so many wars, but I lost the softer one. The street is quiet, the glass is cold. I feel the years beneath the gold. A man can hide behind his fame, but not when rain calls out his name. My name, I hear every word I never said. Every rose, every flame, every ghost beside my bed. When the rain calls my name, I stand beneath the old street light, a king with nothing left to claim. But the truth he hides at night. I kept my hands inside my coat, kept my heart behind the door, told myself that power heals, but it only asks for more. There's a picture turned away in a drawer I never closed, and the woman I became still follows where I go. Smoke curls slowly from my hand, like a prayer that cannot land. I wear the face they all believe, but I am tired underneath. When the rain calls my name, I hear every word I never said. Every rose, every flame, every ghost beside my bed. When the my name, I stand beneath the old street light, a king with nothing left to claim. But the truth he hides at night. Forgive the crown, forgive the stone, forgive the man who stood alone. Behind the eyes, behind the suit, there was a heart still asking you. When the
shame. Only love I buried here. When the rain calls my name, I let the silence take the blame. A broken king beneath the light, still answering to the rain.